How do I even begin? It seemed like racial injustice is just an unforgiving trend. Been waiting for the moment time would bend, and then we could finally find peace. Been in this time machine, now I'm in too deep. The way I parked the machine, I fell out of it into a garbage bin in the alleyway, but I don't feel like hopping out of it. I made the decision to... Yo, what time are we in again? 1963. March on Washington is about to happen soon. I gotta brace myself for this. How do I even restate this? Racist activity happening on a daily basis. Barely even matter what the time or place. Look, I'm done with this. Gotta tell you a story about this other kid. Black in the 50s, public places and spaces constantly reminding him of his victim state of segregation inside this vicious idealism. Don't know how to break it. People around him assume his motives based on what the color of his face is. Where did it all start? Let me try and trace it. Racism been going on forever. Who made all this happen? I've been trying to trace it back to the first moment it began. But I gotta tell you, this kid never had much. But when them JC laws hit, turned his whole world downwards. Because people was glaring at him all the time because of his black skin. Had a lot of unknown emotional trauma packed in. He had always been in love with art, but was afraid to go with his heart because of the controlling place he came from. The US that stole from Africa and tried to tear them down and brung all the slaves from. And I'm sure in the 50s, like, the worst mindset had become number one. They already had 300 plus years of torture on their back, and growing up with low income and rising against the villains just feels too hard to be a real outcome. He 13 and trying to test out his ride, and yeah, it might not be traditionally old enough to drive, but he black, so they wouldn't give him a license even if he was old enough to say he was driving maniacally. Wouldn't be too hyperbolic, but he just started at least his father in the passenger to make sure everything good, rolling around in his hood. Then I see the police patrolling, seeing the boy riding around in the car, assuming that it's stolen. Police put his foot on the accelerator without losing focus. To him, seeing black people happy is atrocious, or at least the closest thing to happiness. The police pulling out their guns would just cause more stress, but unfortunately back then, those under the badge found that mindset to be the best, trying their best to put black souls to rest. They want to be like us, but they'll never give us respect, which is why so many blacks gotta go through ridiculous lengths to get the check. Honestly, I'm in the time machine looking frustrated and afraid, trying to keep a low profile and see what happens next. All I hear is bang bang after all the bullets rang. Firsthand seeing this senseless act of violence attract pain. All of a sudden the whole neighborhood looked in shock, but did they feel bad for the boy? I'm afraid not. His father tried to get him to the hospital, afraid nobody would look after him, trying to keep his boy alive to change the world and inspire future generations to thrive. There was only one doctor that secretly saved the boy's life. Doc was white, but was the rare type at the time to have sense enough to know what happened wasn't right. Afterwards, the doctor beat up by the police and got his license revoked for life, but at least the boy's alright. I don't understand how the world reacts this way, how people didn't want to follow the rules a minute ago, when we all didn't know the way back to normal. Most people out there were just trying to live their life, but quarantine gave them depression that made them worry every day and night. But black people and other minorities still can't find true freedom. Christians try to be together, but they go ahead and bring up homophobic verses forever. And I know that all Christians don't think that way, but just find a way to be true and be together. Thought that we were taught to love everyone. We need to get back, but this machine won't run. Bigotry always gonna be a thing, don't mean we can't let freedom ring. Everybody joining the battle, I don't think people too in their old ways for it to be a thing. Anybody that looks like me always go through a rough time, because we live in a nation that claimed to be free but built their finances from slaves with skin like mine, despite my people having their own fame and fortune in their own nation before that time. Forever a long time, forever you look for truth, forever you look for your future, forever you look for respect. Forever, forever, where are we heading? Forever love, forever life, forever truth, forever freedom. How long is this gonna be broken?
Look, I know it's been a tumultuous adventure, but to be honest, I don't know what to tell you. It's broken because you probably forgot to get more fuel cans.
Whatever. Hopefully there's a mechanic.